right here. Yeah, buddy, everyone wants success, everyone wants strength, but what they don't realize is life's greatest lessons don't come when you expect them. They come late, sometimes too late. And when that truth hits you right here, it either breaks you or builds you. The iron doesn't lie, life doesn't lie. You think you got time. You think you can wait. You can't. Right here, what I'm about to share with you is not just advice, it's survival. Because we learn this too late, and by the time we wake up, the cost is heavy. But if you hear this now and you live by it, you'll be ahead of the game right here. So listen close, because this is the greatest advice you ever hear. Time is the only currency you can't earn back. And it's the one lesson almost everybody understands too late in life. Right here, we live like we've got an endless supply of hours. Like tomorrow is guaranteed. Like we can always push off the dream until next week, next month, next year. But the reality is every tick of the clock is a trade. Right here, a trade you can never undo. You spend it whether you like it or not. You spend it on something, and when it's gone, it's gone. Right here. Nobody ever got to the end of their life wishing for more money without wishing for more time to spend it. Nobody ever stood on their deathbed saying, here, I wish I worked harder at wasting hours. What they regret is the time they let slip by without purpose, without growth, without love, without chasing what really mattered. Think about it. Right here. If someone stole money from your wallet, you'd be furious. If someone broke into your house and took your possessions, you'd call the police. Yet every day, people allow minutes, hours, days to be stolen from them. Right here. Yeah. And they don't fight back. They don't guard it. They don't protect it. Time is the most valuable currency you will ever own. But it doesn't come with a receipt. It doesn't come with an account statement. Right here, it doesn't come with a reminder. It's gone before you even realize you spent it. That's why so many wake up years later realizing they let it all slip through their fingers chasing the wrong things. Right here, listening to the wrong people, prioritizing the wrong battles when you're young. You think you have forever. You think there's time to start later. You think you can afford to waste a few years drifting, scrolling right here, chasing distractions. You think there's always a tomorrow? That's the trap. Tomorrow's not harmless to anybody. How many stories have you heard of people with big dreams, big plans, and then life cuts them short? Right here. How many dreams have gone to the graveyard because someone thought they had more time? That's the cruel truth. You don't run out of ideas. You don't run out of energy. Right here. You don't run out of opportunity. You run out of time. That's the one limit. You can't fight. You can't bend. You can't negotiate. Every breath you take is one less left. Every second passing by is gone forever. Right here, that should light a fire in you. It should create urgency. It should make you wake up earlier, grind harder, cut off the excuses, and get serious about what you say matters. People talk about time management right here. But you can't manage time. Time doesn't slow down because you're behind. It doesn't speed up because you're ready. The only thing you can manage is yourself, your priorities, your focus, your energy. Here, you decide if those hours get invested or wasted. You decide if you give them away to things that drain you or things that build you. You decide if you spend them on chasing comfort or chasing growth here. And those decisions compound. A day wasted here, a week wasted there, a year wasted scrolling, doubting, hesitating, and suddenly you look back and realize you've burned a decade. That's the tragedy right here. The saddest thing isn't failing, it's realizing you never even tried because you thought you had time. Time is the currency that exposes the truth. You can talk all you want about what you value, what you dream of, right here, what you plan to do, but look at how you spend your time, and that's the real story. If you say you want to be healthy, but you spend your hours sitting, eating junk, avoiding the gym, then health isn't really your priority. Right here, if you say you want success, but you spend your nights watching shows, scrolling through social media, and ignoring your goals, then success is just a word. Right here, you say you want deep relationships, but you never give your time to people who matter. Then relationships aren't really your priority. Your calendar is your truth. Your hours are your proof. Here, and the way you spend time reveals exactly who you are and what you actually value. The most dangerous words in the world are, I'll do it later. Later becomes never. Tomorrow becomes a graveyard. Here, and opportunities don't wait for you to feel ready. The world doesn't stop spinning while you hesitate. Your body doesn't stop aging while you procrastinate. And your dreams don't stop fading while you sit in comfort. Right here, every single thing you want in life requires a payment item. You want strength? Pay with time in the gym. You want knowledge? Pay with time studying, learning, failing, improving. You want wealth? Pay with time working, grinding, building. You want love? Pay with time investing, listening, being present. Everything has a time cost, and if you're not willing to pay it, when you realize time is the only currency that matters, you stop asking, how much does it cost? And you start asking, how much time will it take? Because money comes back right here. Energy can be restored. Opportunities can be rebuilt. That doesn't refund you. That's why agency is the key. That's why every successful person is obsessed with the clock. They don't let time slip by unnoticed. Right here, they make every moment count. They know how precious it is. They don't live casually. They don't wake up without purpose. They don't hand their days away like free samples. Right here, they guard their hours like their life depends on it, because it does look back at history and you'll see the same pattern. People who did great things didn't waste decades waiting for permission. Right here, they didn't live like they had eternity. They seized time, they attacked it, they moved with urgency. Athletes who became legends trained like every day was their last chance. Right here, leaders who changed the world spoke and acted like tomorrow might not come. Artists, innovators, they worked with a desperation, a hunger, because they knew time was running. Right here, that's what separates those who make history from those who disappear unnoticed. Urgency in the face of time's limit. And here's the hardest truth. You don't know how much time you have left. Here, some people get 80 years, some get 50, some get 20, some don't even see tomorrow. You don't know your number, and that should terrify you into action. That should make you value every second like it's sacred. Right here, because it is. You don't need more time. You need to stop wasting the time you already have. Every minute you're alive is a miracle, and every minute wasted is a disrespect to the gift you've been given. Right here, the graveyard is full of people who thought they had more time, full of unfulfilled dreams, unwritten books, unstarted businesses, unlived lives. Don't be one of them. Time is the only currency you can't earn back. And every choice you make is either an investment in the future or a theft from it. Every second is a chance to step forward or to stand still. Every hour is a chance to build or to waste. Right here, every day is a chance to move closer to who you want to be or further away. The clock doesn't care about your excuses. The clock doesn't care about your fears. The clock doesn't care if you're tired, lazy, or distracted. Here, it keeps moving with or without you. Discipline beats motivation every single day, because motivation is a feeling and feelings are fragile. Motivation is like a spark. It comes, it burns bright, but it dies just as quickly. Right here, discipline is the firewood, the structure, the foundation that keeps the flame alive long after the spark is gone. Too many people wait around for motivation. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel excited. They wait for some magical burst of energy to make them move. But the truth is, the days that change your life are not the days you're motivated. They're the days you show up anyway when you're tired, when you're sore, when you're uninspired, when your body says no, but your discipline says yes. That's when greatness is built. Motivation is emotional. Discipline is intentional. Motivation depends on your mood, on the weather. Right here, on the song playing in your headphones, on the people around you. Discipline doesn't care about moods or weather or songs or people. Discipline is a decision backed by consistency. Discipline says, this is who I am here, and this is what I do, regardless of how I feel in the moment. The strongest athletes, the greatest leaders, the most successful people didn't rely on motivation. They relied on discipline. They knew motivation might get you started, but only discipline gets you finished. And only discipline gets you finished. Motivation might make you pick up the weight, but only discipline makes you rack it after the 15th rep when you're shaking and broken. Your motivation might make you set a goal, but only discipline makes you work toward it when no one's watching and no one's clapping. Think about it. How many times have you been motivated for a week, a month, maybe even a year, and then it died? How many times have you started something with fire and ended it with excuses? That's motivation. Unreliable, unpredictable, unstable. And that's why so many people never reach the level they want. Here, because they wait for motivation instead of building discipline. Discipline doesn't need hype. Discipline doesn't need music. Discipline doesn't need an audience. Discipline doesn't need conditions to be perfect. Here, discipline shows up when the alarm rings at 5 a.m. Discipline shows up when your muscles ache. Discipline shows up when your mind tells you to quit. Discipline shows up when there's no applause, no progress, no results yet. Discipline is the quiet, relentless force that pushes you forward, whether you like it or not. Motivation asks, do I feel like it? Discipline answers, doesn't matter. Motivation asks, here, what's the easiest way? This is the easiest way. Discipline says, what's the right way? Motivation looks for comfort. Discipline looks for consistency. Motivation wants rewards. Discipline wants results. Right here, the difference between the average and the elite is not talent. It's not luck. It's not motivation. It's discipline. Talent fades without discipline. Luck disappears without discipline. Motivation dies without discipline. Right here. But discipline alone can carry you where all three fail. That's why you can see ordinary people do extraordinary things when they decide to commit. They may not be the most talented here, but they're disciplined enough to outlast the talent. They may not be the luckiest, but they're disciplined enough to create opportunities. They may not always feel motivated here, but they're disciplined enough to keep moving forward when everyone else stops. Discipline is not glamorous, Discipline is boring. Discipline is waking up early when everyone else sleeps. Here. Discipline is eating clean when everyone else indulges. Discipline is studying when others are partying. Discipline is grinding in silence when others are distracted. Discipline is saying no when your body screams yes. Right here. Discipline is delaying gratification for years to build something permanent. It doesn't look good on social media. It doesn't get applause in the moment. It's repetitive. It's thankless. It's quiet. Hey, but discipline is what builds champions. Discipline is what builds legacies. Discipline is what makes sure you don't just start fast but finish strong. Motivation can't survive boredom, but discipline thrives in it. Right here, motivation disappears when the grind gets tough, but discipline gets sharper. Motivation runs when results don't come quickly, but discipline waits. Discipline trusts. If discipline keeps building, every single thing worth having demands discipline. You want strength, discipline in the gym, discipline in recovery, discipline in your diet. You want wealth, discipline in saving, discipline in investing, discipline in saying no to instant pleasures. You want wisdom, discipline in learning, discipline in listening, discipline in applying. You want love, discipline in commitment, discipline in sacrifice. Here, discipline in showing up daily. There is no path to greatness without discipline, because greatness is not built in a moment. It's built in thousands of small, consistent, right here, disciplined decisions stacked on top of each other over years. Discipline is the bridge between goals and results, between vision and reality, desire and achievement. And here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Discipline hurts. Discipline demands pain. Discipline requires sacrifice. But so does regret. Regret is pain stretched over a lifetime. Here, discipline is pain paid up front. You choose your pain. You can't avoid it. Either you suffer the pain of discipline now, or you suffer the pain of regret later. Discipline hurts, but regret haunts. And when you realize that, here, you understand discipline is not punishment, it's freedom. Discipline gives you freedom from regret, freedom from weakness, freedom from mediocrity. It gives you control over your life, control over your results. Right here, control over your destiny. Without discipline, you're a slave to your feelings, your impulses, your distractions. With discipline, you become the master of them. Look at the greats. Hey, Ronnie Coleman didn't become 8-time Mr. Olympia by waiting for motivation to hit. He didn't lift 800 pounds for reps because he felt like it. He built that legacy on discipline, day in, day out, year after year. Whether his body hurt, whether his mind was tired, whether anyone was watching. That's why his story inspires, because it wasn't about hype. It was about habits. It wasn't about moments of motivation. It was about a lifetime of discipline. The same applies to every field. Kobe Bryant wasn't motivated to wake up at 4 a.m. every morning for practice. He was disciplined. Right here, Michael Jordan didn't rely on motivation to shoot thousands of jump shots every day. He was disciplined. The entrepreneurs who built billion-dollar companies weren't motivated every day. They were disciplined enough to outwork and outlast the scientists, the artists, the leaders. Their brilliance was powered by discipline. The mistake people make is believing motivation and discipline are the same. Right here, they're not. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is permanent. Motivation pushes you forward when conditions are right. Discipline pushes you forward no matter what. Motivation makes you feel good about starting. Right here, discipline makes sure you actually finish. If you build your life on motivation, you'll always be fragile, inconsistent, unreliable. If you build your life on discipline, you become unstoppable, unshakable, unbreakable. Here, discipline is the armor you wear when motivation fails. Discipline is the engine that keeps running when fuel runs out. Right here. And discipline is the difference between dreams that die in your mind and dreams that live in reality. If you want to change your life, don't chase motivation, build discipline. Right here, build the habit of showing up regardless of how you feel. Build the habit of doing what needs to be done, whether you're excited or not. Build the habit of pushing through boredom, through pain, through fatigue. Here, build the habit of respecting your word to yourself. That's the core of discipline, self-respect. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your discipline. Every time you break a promise to yourself, right here, you weaken it. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about proving to yourself that you can be trusted to do what you said you would do. And when you can trust yourself, here, nothing can stop you. Pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Pain is the language of growth, the proof of effort, the sign that you are pushing beyond what is comfortable. The world tells you to avoid pain, right here, to run from it, to numb it, to escape it. But every person who has ever built strength, built greatness, built a legacy knows the truth. Pain is the only path. You can't lift heavy without pain. Right here, you can't build discipline without pain. You can't transform your life without pain. Every rep burns, every setback stings, every failure cuts. Discomfort is where you find a lesson you can't learn any other way. Pain teaches what success hides. Pain teaches humility, patience, resilience, hunger, and wisdom. Without pain, life is soft, shallow, empty, Pain gives life weight, meaning, and depth. To think about the gym. You pick up a weight, your muscles fight, they tear, they scream, they ache. That pain is not punishment, it's progress. Pain right here, that pain is the process of growth happening in real time. Without that pain, there is no strength, no muscle, no transformation. The burn is the body's way of saying, I'm adapting, I'm growing. Here, I'm building something new. Yet outside the gym, people forget this. They think pain in life is a signal to stop, to retreat, to give up. But pain in life works the same way. It is a signal of growth. Right here, the heartbreak that shatters you teaches you how to love deeper. The failure that humiliates you teaches you how to stand taller. The rejection that cuts you down teaches you how to build stronger. Right here, the loss that empties you teaches you how to value what you still have. Pain is not here to destroy you, instruct you. The reason pain feels unbearable is because it forces you into the present moment. Right here, pain doesn't allow you to be distracted. Pain doesn't let you coast. Pain doesn't let you fake strength. Pain demands your attention. When you are in pain, you are fully awake, fully alive, fully engaged. Pain strips away illusions. It shows you what really matters. It reveals who you really are. When life is easy, you can pretend to be disciplined, pretend to be focused, pretend to be strong. But when pain hits, right here, the mask comes off. Pain exposes you. Pain shows whether you're committed or casual, whether you're built for this or built for comfort, whether your words mean something or nothing. Here, pain is the ultimate truth teller. Most people run from pain, and that's why they stay weak. They avoid the hard workout. They avoid the difficult conversation. They avoid the scary risk. Here, they avoid the long nights of grinding. They avoid anything that might hurt them, and in doing so, they also avoid growth. Comfort becomes their prison, and pain becomes the freedom they never taste. Here, if you want to rise above average, you have to pursue it. You have to lean into it, embrace it, welcome it. You have to see pain not as an obstacle, but as the doorway to transformation. Every champion, every leader, every legend got there by going through more pain than most people could handle. They didn't escape it. They learned from it. They respected it. They used it. Pain teaches patience. Here, it doesn't give quick results. It doesn't let you skip the process. When you're in pain, you can't rush. You can't cheat. You can't shortcut. You have to endure. You have to keep moving forward slowly, steadily, right here, consistently. That's how patience is built. Pain teaches resilience. It knocks you down, but when you choose to stand back up, you discover a strength you never knew you had. You realize that pain is temporary, right here, but the strength that leaves behind is permanent. Pain teaches focus. It strips away distractions, because when you're in pain, nothing else matters except pushing through. Pain teaches gratitude. After you suffer, right here, you appreciate the moments of peace, the victories, the blessings in ways you never did before. Pain shapes perspective. It turns small problems into nothing. It makes you value what truly counts. Right here, it keeps your ego in check. There's no glory without pain. People cheer for the champion holding the trophy, but they don't see the mornings when the champion dragged themselves out of bed through pain. Right here, they admire the body on stage, but don't see the years of sore joints, torn muscles, aching bones. They hear the speech, but don't see the painful failures that gave the words meaning. Pain is the shadow behind every success story, and without it, the story doesn't exist. Pain is the proof you paid the price. Pain is the receipt of progress. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Right here, pain is what separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the workers, the weak from the strong. People think the goal is to eliminate pain, but the goal is to endure it, learn from it, and transform through it. When you understand that pain becomes power, instead of asking, why me? You ask, what is this teaching me? Instead of saying, I can't take this, you say, I'll grow through this. Instead of running away, right here, you step forward. That's how pain becomes your ally, not your enemy. The people who are most dangerous in life are the ones who have suffered deeply and chosen to grow from it. Because nothing scares them anymore. Here, nothing breaks them, nothing surprises them. They've already faced pain and they know how to use it. That kind of person is unstoppable. Pain has another gift. It builds empathy. When you've been through struggle here, when you've been through heartbreak, when you've been through loss, you understand others on a deeper level. Pain connects humans in a way success never can. Pain gives you compassion. It makes you listen. It makes you care. Right here, the strongest leaders are not just physically tough. They are emotionally tough because they've been through pain, and they use that pain to lift others up. Your pain can become someone else's survival guide. Here, your scars can become someone else's strength. That's why you can't waste your pain. You can't just go through it. You have to grow through it. Hey, and then use it to help others. Pain also teaches you that nothing lasts forever. No matter how deep it cuts, no matter how heavy it feels, it passes. The pain of yesterday is today's wisdom. Right here, the pain that felt like the end of the world becomes the foundation for your new beginning. Pain teaches you impermanence. teaches you to hold on. It teaches you that storms always pass. And when they do, you're left stronger, wiser, sharper. You realize pain didn't destroy you, it rebuilt you. You realize pain didn't end you. It elevated you. Every scar on your body, every scar on your heart is the story of survival. Right here, a lesson learned, a victory earned. You wear them not as marks of weakness, but as proof of strength. So when pain comes, and you can't run, you can't hide, you can't wish it away. You face it head on. You let it teach you. You let it mold you. You let it harden your spirit and sharpen your soul. Because pain is not your enemy. It's your greatest teacher. Right here, and the lessons it gives you are the foundation of every victory you will ever achieve. Sacrifice today creates freedom tomorrow. And this is the law of life that separates those who achieve from those who only wish. Here, every great accomplishment, every empire, every champion's victory is built on the sacrifices that most people were too afraid or too weak to make. The truth is simple. You can't have it all at once. Here, you can't eat the cake and keep the body. You can't waste your nights and wake up with success. You can't spend your life in comfort and expect greatness to land in your lap. Rare sacrifice is the price you pay up front for the freedom to live life on your own terms later. Without sacrifice, you are chained to mediocrity. With sacrifice, you buy your freedom, brick by brick, choice by choice. Moment by moment, sacrifice is misunderstood because people see it only as loss. They think it's about giving something up and never getting it back. But true sacrifice is investment. When you sacrifice sleep to train, hey, you're investing in strength. When you sacrifice comfort to study, you're investing in knowledge. When you sacrifice nights out to work on your dream, you're investing in your future. Right here, sacrifice is not losing, it's choosing. It's saying, I choose tomorrow over today. I choose my goals over my impulses. I choose the person I want to become over the distractions pulling me away. That mindset is rare here because most people live for today and forget tomorrow. They want the pleasure now. They want the comfort now. They want the ease now. Right here. And that's why their future is a prison instead of freedom. Think about every athlete who became a legend. They sacrificed nights out, fast food, laziness, distractions. While others were partying, they were training. Right here. While others were sleeping, they were grinding. While others were indulging, they were sacrificing. That's why when the lights came on, when the stage was set, when the world was watching, they were ready. Right here, people see the highlight, but they don't see the sacrifice. They see the victory, but they don't see the nights of hunger, the hours of sweat, the years of saying no to easy choices. Right here, the freedom to stand on top of the mountain comes only because they sacrificed climbing it step by step while others sat at the bottom wishing. Sacrifice is the invisible work that produces visible results. Sacrifice today also teaches discipline. When you choose sacrifice, you teach yourself that not every desire deserves to be fulfilled. Right here, you learn how to control your impulses, how to delay gratification, how to stay focused on what matters. Every time you sacrifice something small for something greater, you build your self-control like a muscle. Right here, you prove to yourself that you can resist temptation, that you can walk away from what feels good in the moment for what will feel incredible in the future. That is real strength. The ability to say no now so you can say yes later to a life most people will never touch. Sacrifice today is a test, and every time you pass it, right here, you earn another piece of your future freedom. Most people fail this test because they are slaves to the present. They chase instant pleasure, instant validation, instant results. Right here. They can't sacrifice the party for the study session, the extra sleep for the early morning grind, the luxury purchase for the investment. They want it all now. And in wanting it all now, they end up with nothing later. Right here, they chain themselves to debt, to regret, to weakness, to mediocrity. Sacrifice is the opposite. It breaks chains. Sacrifice feels heavy in the moment, but it frees you in the future. You sacrifice the drink, and you wake up sharp. You sacrifice the distraction, and you master your craft. You sacrifice the short-term comfort, and you unlock long-term greatness. Right here, freedom tomorrow is built on the sacrifices. Sacrifice you make today is not just physical. It's mental, emotional, and spiritual. It's the willingness to give up toxic relationships that drain you even when it's hard. Right here, it's the willingness to let go of old versions of yourself even when they're comfortable. It's the willingness to cut off excuses, habits, and mindsets that keep you small. Every level of growth demands a sacrifice of the old you. Every new chapter you to bury something in the last one. That's why sacrifice hurts. It feels like loss because a part of you is dying. But in truth, right here, you're making room for the new, for the stronger, for the freer version of yourself. Sacrifice today is a funeral for weakness, and right here, and the resurrection of strength tomorrow. The greatest freedom in life is to live on your own terms, and that freedom never comes cheap. It demands years of sacrifice. Ask the entrepreneur who sacrificed weekends, sleep, and comfort to build their business. Ask the athlete who sacrificed comfort foods, late nights, and social life to build their body. Ask the artist who sacrificed security and stability to pursue their vision. Every one of them will tell you the freedom they enjoy now was bought with the sacrifices they made then. People envy their freedom, but they don't envy their sacrifices. They want the reward without the cost. Okay, but there is no shortcut. The freedom you crave tomorrow requires the sacrifice you resist today. Sacrifice also reveals what you value most. If you say your dream matters, but you never sacrifice for it, right here, then it's not your dream, it's just a wish. If you say your health matters, but you never sacrifice for it, then it's not your priority, it's just talk. If you say your family matters, but you never sacrifice for them, then it's not your value, it's just noise. What you sacrifice for is what you truly love. The athlete who sacrifices for training proves they love the game. The parent who sacrifices for their child proves they love their family. The dreamer who sacrifices for their vision proves they love their purpose. Sacrifice is the evidence of commitment, the receipt of love. The proof of dedication. Without sacrifice, your words mean nothing. With sacrifice, your actions scream louder than any words ever could. Sacrifice today also hardens you. It toughens your spirit, right here. When you repeatedly choose sacrifice, you learn how to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You learn how to endure hunger, fatigue, loneliness, and pressure. You learn how to walk through fire without flinching, right here. Every sacrifice is resistance training for your soul, and each time you overcome, you add another layer of armor. That's why people who have sacrificed much are unbreakable. They've already walked through pain. Here, given up comfort, carried weight, they know what it feels like to suffer for something bigger, and that makes them impossible to shake. Here, sacrifice today makes you unshakable tomorrow. But the irony is that sacrifice never feels like freedom in the moment. It feels like loss, like restriction, like struggle. You sacrifice the party and feel left out. You sacrifice the purchase and feel deprived. You sacrifice the sleep and feel exhausted. That's the cost. But hidden in that cost is the reward, the body you build, the wealth you grow, the knowledge you gain. Right here, the dream you achieve. Sacrifice today is planting seeds. You bury them in the dirt, you lose them, you let them go. It feels like loss. But with time, discipline, and faith, those seeds grow into trees that give you shade and life. Freedom tomorrow is the harvest of sacrifices planted today. Look at history. Every leader, every warrior, every revolutionary had to sacrifice to achieve their mission. They sacrificed safety, right here. They sacrificed comfort. They sacrificed time, sometimes even life itself. And because they did, we remember them, we follow them, we live in the world. The sacrifices created freedom in any form, personal freedom, right here, national freedom, spiritual freedom, was always bought with sacrifice. This truth doesn't change. If you want a life of freedom, you must pay with sacrifice. There's no other way. Right here, the question is not whether you will sacrifice. The question is what you will sacrifice for. Will you sacrifice your future for comfort today, here, or will you sacrifice your comfort today for freedom tomorrow? Sacrifice today creates freedom tomorrow, and the sooner you understand that, the sooner you stop fighting it and start embracing it. Right here, most people spend their lives avoiding sacrifice, and in doing so, they avoid freedom. The champions, the visionaries, the builders, the warriors, they lean into sacrifice, they welcome it, they honor it. Here, they know that every sacrifice they make today is a step closer to tomorrow's freedom, tomorrow's success, tomorrow's greatness. Your excuses will outlive you if you let them. Because excuses don't disappear when you're gone. They live on in the story people tell about you, in the legacy you leave behind, in the regret that echoes through your name. Excuses are the chains that hold people back. Right here, and the saddest truth is that most people die with their excuses intact, buried with potential they never used, dreams they never chased, strength they never tested. Excuses are easy, they're comfortable, they're safe, but they are also deadly because every excuse you make is a reason to stay the same, a reason to shrink, a reason to quit. Excuses are lies dressed as logic, weakness disguised as wisdom, fear camouflaged as practicality. And if you keep feeding them, they will eat your entire life. Excuses sound smart because they protect your ego. They whisper, it's not your fault. You didn't have the time. You didn't have the resources. You didn't have the luck. You didn't have the right people. Excuses shield you from the pain of accountability, but they also shield you from the power of growth. As long as the blame is outside of you, here the solution is outside of you. Excuses convince you that your circumstances are fixed, that your destiny is already decided, that you are powerless. But the truth is, excuses are the greatest enemy of your power, right here, because they make you surrender control. The moment you excuse yourself, you hand your future to something else. You let time, luck, or people become the author of your life. Here, excuses outlive you because they erase your chance to write a story worth remembering. The problem with excuses is that they multiply. One excuse becomes another, and soon your entire life is wrapped in them. Right here, you say you're too tired to train today, so tomorrow you say you're too busy. You say you don't have the resources to start your dream now, so next year you say the timing isn't right. Here, You say you don't have the connections, so later you say you don't have the confidence. Excuses breed more excuses until you're buried under them. And the longer you feed them, the heavier they get here until one day you look back and realize you've built a wall so high you can't see your own potential on the other side. Excuses don't just stop progress, they kill vision. Right here, they blind you from what's possible and convince you to settle for what's easy. The most dangerous thing about excuses is that they feel true. They're not wild lies, they're half-truths that sound believable. Right here, you really might not have time, but how much of your day is wasted on distractions? You really might not have money, but how much of your money is spent on things that don't matter? Right here, you really might be tired, but how much of that exhaustion comes from poor choices instead of real limits? Excuses thrive because they sound logical, but when you dig deeper, they fall apart. They are built on comfort. Right here, not true. They're built on avoidance, not reality. And if you dare to strip them down, you realize they were never barriers at all. They were choices. Greatness has no room for excuses. The strongest people here, the most successful, the most respected, they had the same reasons to quit that you do. They had the same obstacles, the same struggles, the same pain. The difference is that they refused to let excuses take root. Right here. Ronnie Coleman didn't become 8-time Mr. Olympia because he had perfect conditions. He had a full-time job as a cop while training harder than anyone else. He had pain, he had surgeries, he had every reason to stop right here, but he didn't excuse himself. He kept pushing, kept grinding, kept showing up. That's the difference between champions and average people. Not that they have no excuses, but that they refuse to bow to them. They look their excuses in the face and say, not today. Excuses also rob you of respect. People may not when you give them. They may sympathize. They may even agree. Right here, but deep down, everyone knows an excuse. When they hear one, people respect action, not excuses. They respect results, not reasons. When you achieve, nobody asks how hard it was. They just admire the result. When you fail and throw excuses, nobody truly listens. They just move on. Excuses might win sympathy in the moment, but they cost you respect forever. And when you make excuses long enough, you stop respecting yourself. Right here, you start believing your own lies. You start doubting your own word. You start living beneath your own potential. That's the most dangerous outcome. Not that others stop believing in you here, but that you stop believing in yourself. Excuses will also be inherited. Your kids will hear them. Your family will hear them. The people who look up to you will hear them. And they will learn from you right here. If you live a life of excuses, you teach everyone around you that excuses are acceptable, that mediocrity is normal, that quitting is okay. Right here, your excuses don't you kill your future. They poison the future of everyone who follows you. That's how excuses outlive you. They become generational, passed down like an inheritance of weakness. But the same is true of accountability. If you refuse excuses, if you own your choices, if you rise despite circumstances, you pass down strength, you prove that it's possible, you give permission for others to rise. Here, you leave behind a legacy of action, not excuses. Excuses are also the enemy of time. Every excuse you make today steals tomorrow's opportunity. You say, I'll do it later, but later becomes never. Right here, you say, I'll start when I'm ready, but readiness never comes. Excuses delay you until life runs out. The clock doesn't care about your reasons. It just keeps moving. And while you're explaining why you didn't, someone else is out there doing it. Excuses waste time twice. First, by stopping action. Second, by wasting energy on justifying inaction. If you cut excuses out of your life, right here, you'd be shocked at how much time you actually have, how much energy you actually have, how much potential was waiting for you all along. The truth is that everyone has excuses available to them. Everyone can find reasons to quit, reasons to delay, reasons to stop. But only the strong have the courage to reject them. Excuses are cheap, effort is expensive. Excuses are plentiful, results are rare. Here, excuses are temporary comfort, results are permanent pride. You get to choose which one defines you. You can die with a list of excuses on your lips, or you can die with a legacy of results in your name. Right here, one lasts in stories people tell as examples of what not to do. The other lasts in history as proof of what's possible. Your excuses will outlive you if you let them, but so will your results. Is which one you decide to leave behind. Excuses also reveal fear. Every excuse is rooted in fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of pain, fear of discomfort. Instead of admitting fear, people disguise it as logic, as timing, as circumstance. But fear fed by excuses becomes permanent paralysis. You think you're protecting yourself by making excuses, but you're actually trapping yourself. Grow stronger the more excuses you give it. The only way to shrink fear is to act despite it, to stop excusing and start executing. Excuses are fertilizer for fear. Accountability is the weapon that kills it. Right here, that's why the fearless are not those without fear, but those without excuses. They face fear head on. They accept responsibility. They take action, right? They free themselves by refusing to excuse themselves. Every excuse has a cost, and that cost is your potential. Every time you excuse yourself, you trade a piece of your potential for comfort. Over years, right here, those pieces add up until you've given it all away. That's why cemeteries are full of potential that never became reality, because excuses stole it. The song's never written, the book's never finished. Hey, the businesses never started, the strength never built. It was all buried under excuses. And nobody remembers those excuses. Nobody will say at your funeral, he never chased his dream. Here, but at least he had a good excuse. Nobody will admire you for your reasons. They will either remember what you did, or they won't remember you at all. That's the brutal truth. Excuses make you forgettable. Results make you unforgettable. Excuses may give you comfort now, but they guarantee pain later. They save you from the short-term discomfort of effort, but they hand you the long-term suffering of regret. Regret is heavier than any weight you could lift, sharper than any pain you could endure, darker than any fear you could face. Regret is the ghost that haunts people who live with excuses. And once regret arrives, it never leaves. That's why the pain of discipline, the pain of sacrifice, the pain of pushing is always better than the pain of excuses. One hurts today, the other hurts forever. You get to choose which pain you carry, so when excuses rise up in your mind, and they will, you have to kill them fast. You have to catch yourself when you start saying, I don't have time, and replace it with, right here, I'll make time. You have to stop saying, I can't, and start saying, how can I? You have to stop saying, I'm not ready, and start saying, I'll learn as I go. You have to shift from excuses to execution, from reasons to results. That mental shift is the difference in wasting your life and owning it. That's the war you fight every single day, the war between excuses and action. And if you want freedom, strength, and legacy, you cannot afford to lose that war.